Okay, thank you. Councillors, I'm Mark Richardson from HousingNowTO.com. Similar to this morning's presentation, we're talking now about maximizing affordable housing opportunities on city-owned lands. In this case, we're talking about the 838 Broadview site, which is just north of Broadview Station. It's a great location for transit-oriented development. 3 minutes, 210-meter walk to Broadview Station. You've got subway there. You've got 2 streetcars there, including the car that runs along King Street Pilot. It was interesting that the history of this only went back to 2016 in the staff motion that you're looking at today. The site actually goes back to 2012. There was a proposal in 2012 for an 8-story infill. It was a mixed-use condo, 17 underground parking spots, and 26 bicycle parking spots. City Planning in October 2015 took it to a final report where they actually recommended the approval of the application to amend the zoning bylaw, that it conformed with the height and massing and everything for Broadview, and that it was leaning towards the official plan for the area as well. But in November of 2015, when it came to Toronto East York Community Council, a gaggle of local NIMBY voices showed up, mostly from the Plater Estates groups, to oppose this 8-story building on Broadview. Plater Estates have a wonderful website, black and white, images from the 1800s describing your castle, our neighborhood. That may be a little bit on the nose for a residents association in the time of a housing crisis. But don't worry about them too much, because houses in their neighborhood are currently selling for $1.2 million over asking. In November 2015, when it was at the Toronto East York Community Council, the councillor moved a bunch of motions to refer this final report back, even though it had staff approval, including requests for reductions in height, density, relocation of site access, and that it not be brought forward again until it was further confirmed with the local councillor. Then in 2016, of February, just a few months later, the public support of the Plater Estates Group, the local councillor via Green P bought out the developer for $3.25 million. That's a big chunk of cash for us to be dishing out on a parking lot at that time. In June 2018, the Broadview Planning Study went to Toronto Council, where there was a lot more additional items that were moved on the floor, including one item that was explicitly a not in my backyard item, to avoid negative impacts on the rear yard amenity of properties in adjacent neighborhoods. This is the kind of stuff that gets us into trouble on housing files, is when councillors are moving these kinds of motions on the council floor to keep their local residents associations happy. Then in April of 2018, just a few months later, they took a bunch of sites that are close by to 838 Broadview, 22 neighborhood properties, and added them to the Heritage Register. This is directly across the street from the Broadview subway station. We may have a housing crisis, but now we also have a heritage-designated dry cleaners. I'm sure we can all sleep better at night knowing that. Same advice from the CMHC of last week. Aggressive, even disruptive densification will be necessary if our cities are to continue to serve as the economic engines of growth, innovation, and job creation for the benefits of all Canadians. So let's be totally clear. We support this project as you have it today. It's 8 stories, it's 85 units of housing, 69 condo, 16 affordable housing, 33 underground Green P parking spots. But we'd like to see in future some explicit direction to maximize the number of housing units you could locate on this site. If you could offer this developer, rather than 8 stories, 10 to 12 stories that would align more with the CMHC direction and the direction from the province, how much more affordable housing is possible within that physical footprint? You know, a long-term goal on these projects should be that you should be creating more affordable housing than affordable parking through Green P when you have these opportunities. So that's our comments, that's our time. We'd just like you to, you know, do more, think beyond the boundaries of your residents associations when you're looking at some of these sites. Thank you.